In my last video, we looked at this UGREEN NAS and we talked about the pros and cons. One of the major highlights is you can install any OS you want, including TrueNAS. Well, it turns out that also has pros and cons, so let's talk about it. In this video, I'm going to go over my experience of installing TrueNAS onto the UGREEN, and there's some things you definitely need to know if you're going to try it. After that, I've got a quick step-by-step of how exactly I did it. If you're happy with the UGREEN OS as it is, definitely don't think you have to install TrueNAS. This is really more about tinkering, learning, and having fun. I found the perfect quote from the TrueNAS forum, and I think it's really relevant to us home labbers. I'll link the full post in the description, but here's the interesting parts. TrueNAS is not a Linux distro, and it's not designed to try and meet your arbitrarily spec'd use cases. TrueNAS is an appliance firmware for storage, which happens to be built on top of FreeBSD and Linux as underlying operating systems. It's intended to be installed like firmware onto a storage server, which can then be attached to a pool of storage drives. The basic idea here is that IX Systems is building an enterprise appliance that they can sell to customers on hardware they provide. And here's where it seems to go off the rails. Community members should please try to be aware that the hyper-converged storage market is filled with competition. IX Systems is trying to build an amazing product with a limited staff, and they need to be able to focus on the things that pay the bills. All of us here in the community would be well advised to take a moment to be thankful for the generosity of IX Systems, who have offered you the ability to use the fruits of their labour on your own server free of charge. TrueNAS is simply not aimed at your small-scale, low-port count NAS build. No one here is going to be offended if you decide that TrueNAS is the wrong product for your needs. I just thought that was a great little post. So yeah, it's linked in the description. I think it's very relevant for us to keep in mind, but it's great that we get to play with these sort of software for free. So here's where TrueNAS meets UGREEN, and while there are a couple of little inconveniences, it's pretty sweet that we can install enterprise grade software on this tiny little £250 device. There are two really important points that I hadn't fully appreciated when I was doing my research before buying the NAS. The first is you definitely don't want to install the OS onto the eMMC flash storage where the UGREEN OS is installed. And secondly, unfortunately, you can't use the SATA bays as a boot device. These two combined do create a little bit of an issue that you need to be aware of because you've got to use up one of the NVMe slots for the OS. Initially, I had planned to install TrueNAS over the UGREEN OS onto the eMMC flash, but the installer actually wouldn't let me do it. I thought I'll just YOLO it, if it dies, it dies. But once I'd tried kind of 3 or 4 workarounds and read enough threads on it, I realized that I really was playing with fire to go that route. It gets stuck because one of the UGREEN partitions is read-only. Some people have said that it's actually a bug in the TrueNAS install, but the thing is, it really makes you start to question what you're doing. The reason that you shouldn't use the eMMC is because TrueNAS is constantly writing data for its monitoring, and that will wear out the flash storage. If we remember that quote from earlier, if we want to play around with enterprise grade software, then really we should also strive for enterprise grade reliability. So there's no point taking half measures, so let's do it right. My backup plan was to use the 240 gig SATA drive that I had lying around, but unfortunately it just won't boot. There's no setting in the BIOS to set it as the boot device. So unless I'm doing something really wrong, I'm very surprised that that's the case. So let me know in the comments if I've missed something really obvious. In the end, I had to buy another NVMe to boot from, and it's surprisingly hard to find a small NVMe storage now. Luckily, I found a 256 gig Patriot drive for just £17. I settled on this one because the warranty is 5 years or 120 terabytes written. And when I looked into it, TrueNAS seems to write about 10 gigabytes a day, so I think that means it should last about 32 years. And now we've got that boot drive installed, unfortunately we're down to just one NVMe slot available. Now that's okay for me because I like to live dangerously, but for you, I wouldn't recommend it. If you do want 3 NVMe slots, you're going to have to upgrade to the 4800 Plus because that has an extra NVMe for the boot drive. So would I recommend you install TrueNAS on your UGREEN? If you want to get your hands dirty, TrueNAS is an excellent playground to run around and get in all kinds of enterprise grade trouble. I love TrueNAS so far, but you definitely don't need it. If you're happy with how your NAS is working at the moment, and you're not trying to do anything crazy, you can have a much easier life if you just use it as intended. Assuming I've not talked you out of it, here's the fastest possible step-by-step to get TrueNAS running. Okay, for these first few, I don't have any screen captures, so you're just gonna have to use your imagination. Step 0 is you might not want to have the hard drives installed yet, because depending on how good you are, you might end up rebooting it a number of times. so you don't want the disk spinning up and down if possible. Step 1, install the NVMe. You really want to do it on an NVMe. Find the smallest one you can. Step 2, make your USB boot drive. Start the device and press Ctrl F12 repeatedly to get into the BIOS. In the BIOS, turn off the watchdog. Disable the onboard eMMC. It saves you having warnings in the UI about unused disks and things with the same name. Plug your USB device into the front of the NAS. Restart, hitting Ctrl F12 again, and boot to the USB device. Install and probably do the web installer. You can do local install if you want, but it just means you have to type the password in. When the NAS reboots, which takes a couple of minutes, it will show up in the console with an IP address listed that you can browse to on your computer. Set a secure password, click Updates Available and install any. Oh, by the way, 32 gig of RAM works perfectly fine in these machines. I saw some people wondering about whether the M100s can handle it. The only issue is there's only one RAM slot, so you need 32GB stick. Go to System/Configuration and set your time zone. If you want your disk to spin down, go to System, Services, Smart, and change the power mode to Standby. The default value here means it's going to keep spinning the disk back up. Set the web interface to redirect HTTP to HTTPS. If you want to SSH into the system, go to Services, enable SSH, and then go to your credentials, user, TrueNAS admin, edit it, and add your SSH key. You don't want to set enable login with password. Depending if you want somebody to be able to plug in a keyboard and screen to the device and access the local console, you can go to Advanced Settings, Console, and uncheck Show Tech Console without password prompt. Slide in the disk or disk set, no need to power off the device. Go to Storage, Create Pool. If you only have one disk, you'll be making a stripe. Otherwise, with the 2-bay, you're probably going for a mirror. This isn't a RAID tutorial though, so do whatever you want. Save and go to Review. Don't include any white space in the name. I've made this mistake twice now. If you want the disk to spin down, go to Storage, Manage Devices, select your devices, then select your power management options. You may need to disable Smart here for it to actually stop. In my case, it spun down pretty quickly, but then it kept spinning back up. Give it a while to settle down, but definitely make sure you're checking on it, because the worst case scenario is if the disk is constantly spinning up and down. Once you make your first boot pull, you'll see when you go back to advanced settings, the system dataset pool is now set to the first pull. If this is a spinning disk, this will also stop the disk from spinning down. If you go to reporting/disk, you can see just how much read and write there is, and once this settles down, you can calculate how long that means your disk will last. Go to Services, enable SMB. Create at least one user with SMB user permission. Go to Datasets, create a new dataset in your pool, and now you can create an SMB specific type of dataset. You might want to set up email alerting and a local SSL certificate. At this point, you should have a pretty good basic config to start tinkering from. So go to General Settings, Manage Config, and download your config and save it somewhere. As it says in the export warning, this contains sensitive information that will allow you to restore your NAS if something happens, so don't make it public and don't post it on GitHub. If you made it to the end, good luck with your TrueNAS build, and like and subscribe for more tech videos.